Hello, everybody. Welcome back to It Takes a Villa podcast. This is episode 2. Today, we're going to talk about how to build your own villa. And don't forget, in the meantime, to subscribe, like, and share. And thank you guys again for returning to watch us. My name is Kristen Gazani. I'm the founder of Villa, and I'm here with my co-host, Angela Pacheco. Angela, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, Kristen. It's so nice to see you again. I'm excited to see you and then also our special guest. So I'm Angela. I'm a mom. I'm a postpartum doula with Walker Doula Services. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out in the comments or on Facebook or on Instagram, and I'm there for you.
Yes, we will drop links to our sites and our special guest information in the comments. So don't forget to check below for more details. But without further ado, we want to present to you the wonderful women behind the company babycito, Lindsay and Amy. So I'm going to pass it to Lindsay and let her introduce herself. Welcome, Lindsay.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Angela. Thank you guys so much for having us. We're so excited and honored to be a part of the podcast. My name is Lindsay. I'm a mom in Annandale. I have a 4-year-old daughter named Millie and a 2-year-old son named Ruben and a almost 8-year-old Boston Terrier named Sancho. So that's our little family in Annandale. And I'm a former FCPS middle school teacher. I did that for 10 years before trying to start babycito. And I just enjoy being outdoors, going to the beach, and whenever I can, which is not often, painting.
I love it. I love how you threw in the hobbies. That is so important for moms to remember because it's like, wait, we're allowed to have hobbies. Lindsay says, yes, you can. Thank you for that, Lindsay. Amy, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your kids and all the fun things you do.
Yes, thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here. My name is Amy Frost, and I work with Lindsay with babycito. I'm also a yoga teacher. I have a small yoga business, Home Vinyasa, so I do that on the side. It's kind of a hobby and my work, which is a nice little side thing for me to do. I have 2 kids, 4-year-old Molly and 10-month-old Emma, who's actually here crawling around. So if you hear her in the background, that's little Emma. We also have 2 dogs, Gandalf and Rudy. I put them outside because of our podcast today, and they are very large, loud dogs, but we love them. And I'm going to steal Lindsay's hobby add on here. And I really love gardening. I don't get to do it a lot or as much as I like, but I do get out there every now and then and get my hands in the dirt. So
Amy, I love gardening. We're going to have to connect and talk about what you plant, how you do it, because it's so fun.
Yes, I love it.
I love that. I know I thought of you, Angela. I was like, oh, Angela's your girl then. I have no green thumb, but I'll be right there with Lindsay and say I like artwork. So like painting, I love cricketing. If anyone knows what the Cricut machine is, where you can like design shirts and things. Oh my gosh, I'm so into that. So that's one of my hobbies for sure. But thank you guys for sharing. And like they said, pets in the background, babies in the background, kids in the background, husbands in the background, whatever it might be. You guys know our podcast. We're for real moms. We're by real moms. So, just ignore, channel out any distractions. We're here. We got you. All right, Angela. So you want to jump to the next question for the ladies?
Yeah, of course. I have a 2-part question, mostly because I really, really, really want to know how you came up with the name babycito and what inspired you to create babycito and build your own village.
Yeah, so I can speak to this for sure. So what inspired me to create babycito was kind of a mix of experiences and ideas from, years of life. But I think what was most impactful when I had my son, Ruben, who's now 2.5, after a couple months, we had Millie, who was 2, and him, and we were still lucky to get a 3-hour stretch of sleep. So my husband and I were kind of losing our minds. very sleep deprived. And we like went on Google. We were like, we need help, like zombies, just typing away on Google. We were like, let's try and find a night nurse for like a few nights, just regain some sleep, kind of hopefully reset. And it just felt a little daunting to be on Google and like the big wide internet, trying to trust that to find a provider who was going to be in our home with our newborn while we were sleeping. It all worked out fine. We found a great provider. We used Let Mommy Sleep. But I was kind of like, why doesn't a place exist where parents can go and they know these providers who are listed are trusted? Maybe they've been screened in some way and they're in your area. So that was kind of one part that planted the seed. And then years before that, I had an idea for a service registry, mainly connected to when I was getting married. Like I wanted to register for like house cleaning service. I didn't want china or like plates. I was like, I want to register and have someone come clean my house once a month. But I was like, I didn't know a way to do that. So that's where the service registry idea came from, and kind of marrying those two things became babycito. And then the name Angela, I was saying it's kind of not super exciting story, but my husband and I were talking about babycito and like we called it that, what it was going to be. And for some reason, bebecito, which is the word in Spanish for little baby, popped into my head. My husband's family's from Honduras, so he speaks Spanish. I also speak Spanish just because I majored in that in college and like traveled a little bit. And I don't know why I didn't go with bebecito, just the Spanish word. I think maybe the website was taken already, but so then I thought babycito, and I was like, oh, that's kind of perfect. It's like Spanglish, and like we kind of speak Spanglish at home. So I felt like that was a good reflection in some way of my family. And so we ended up with babycito.
I love it. When I saw it first time too, I thought, oh, Spanglish, like really cute and kind of easy to transition into like the American household. We're going to say babycito, right? Mm-hmm. So plus it's like your little baby, you know? So thank you for sharing, totally, Lindsay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. Our work, our businesses become that. Thank you for sharing that, Lindsay. I think so many desperate parents have thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a service registry? And maybe they didn't think of it that, detailed, but like, wouldn't it be nice if somebody would help us with getting a doula or cleaning the house or meal prep or even just meal delivery? Like, oh my goodness, a food delivery gift card or something, instead of all the toys and clothes that you get. You're so thankful for it. It's amazing. It's special. It's meaningful. But like you get the same things over and you're like, actually, like instead of this super cute frilly outfit, like I actually want sleep, So now the gift of sleep is actually available on their website. I will let them tell you more, but you just made this dream a reality for parents. So thank you guys for that. All right. So for our next question, we all know that the name of Villa comes from the saying, it takes a village. So tell us, Amy and Lindsay, tell us a little more about what exactly babycito does and how does the saying, it takes a village, relate to that?
Yeah, I can take that one, Lindsay. Babycito's all about building your village. And so we think it's really important to have the support you need in place before you need it. Because when you're in it, it's chaos sometimes, right? Like Lindsay said earlier, you're sleep deprived or and you're on the internet and you're like, what do I need? I know I need something, I need help. And you don't know where to turn. But our vision is that parents can create this service registry that she mentioned and register for these things like a sleep consultant or a lactation consultant or a doula. And it's a cash fund registry, right? So your friends and family will contribute to these services as part of your baby shower, for example. And the funds can be allocated how you need them. So if you are having a difficult time with breastfeeding, you are in it, you're 2 months postpartum. Well, you go to your babycito page. There's the lactation consultant that you registered for, that you've already looked into and researched before having the baby, and you have the cash funds to do it. And so it makes things a little bit easier in what can sometimes be a hard time, a hard and wonderful time, of course. It's all of it. We call it a beautiful mess. Like it's great, but it can be hard, and that's just the reality. But we also think for a lot of people, especially in this area, maybe don't live near family and friends, and so they don't live near their village. And so to have this in place for them to build a village in their community, in their area, can be especially helpful. So that's definitely one part of it. And then, of course, there's the directory. So someone can go on and maybe they don't create a registry, but they just have a directory of services that they can go on and find to build that circle that they may need in postpartum and beyond.
Amazing. So since babycito is still newer, you guys physically, your providers are local, and we're talking out of the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So mamas in Northern Virginia, parents in DC area, and a little bit outside of Northern Virginia as well, down to Stafford area. You guys kind of have some providers, and I know growing as well. You guys are adding new providers every day, which is awesome. But I wanted to do a little insert to say anybody else who is tuning in nationwide, you guys can still access some parts of babycito. Can you guys tell us what they can benefit from? Because people from all over will be listening to this podcast. It's virtual. So what's something they can do? And then I wanted to add in the fact that even if babycito providers are not local to you guys yet, then still take the same method and use that, like Amy said, prepare, use these time where y'all know I'm expecting. It's like these 9 months, 10 months where you're pregnant and preparing and everything, instead of just picking out the clothes and preparing the nursery and all, which is great. You get that nesting feeling, put that energy towards picking out providers and interviewing them and researching them and getting recommendations from friends. And the ones that are on babycito are already pre-approved, of course, looked into by them, which is amazing because they'll tell you more about how they approve their providers. But use the same method. And that's really the secret behind building your village, that you can do the same thing if you go through the list of who may be needed and pick somebody that would be a good fit for that. You don't have to commit to them. Maybe you decide you don't need a lactation consultant after all, or maybe sleep doesn't become too much of an issue and you don't need a sleep consultant. You don't have to use that person. If you're on babycito, you can allocate the funds elsewhere, right? But if you have somebody set up, then when you're in those sleepless and kind of like zombie hours, then you don't have to do that research. It's already done. It's there on a list for you. So later on, we'll talk about a list that we put together between babycito and Villa of how to know who you might need to actually build your village, and a print off checklist that we have for you guys where you can actually print it and go through it and make sure you have these providers, or you can start looking into them. And it's never too early, even if you're considering becoming a parent. This research is just so vital for you. It's really something to think about. People tell you childcare costs. Okay, that is one of the things on the checklist, but there's so many other things too to look into, and ways that it almost should give you relief, not like overwhelming. There's too many options out there. Like, no, these are all people to support you. Like, how beautiful is it that you can call somebody to help with your nursing journey or your sleep journey? There is help there. And you won't believe that a lot of them have services that are provided through your insurance. So it all depends on everybody's specific situation, but there is help out there. There is a village out there. Like they said, even if you're not local to your family, to your village, that's what inspired us to create Villa. You have a virtual village, and you know, we're all here supporting you and cheering you on, because we know what it's like to be stuck and not feel like you have the tools when you most need it. All right. So we'll go on to the next question. Angela?
Perfect. How did the two of you decide to become partners? And what do you see as your vision for babycito?
Oh, this question is like so near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to try not to like go on at length about it, but I'm going to give you all the background for me and Amy. So we first met in 2019 when her and her family moved 3 houses down from us where we lived in Falls Church at the time. And I was actually a member of our neighborhood welcoming committee. So I met Amy like shortly after she moved in and met her then. And it was like instant connection. And then we also connected over the fact that our daughters were only 3 months apart in age. So, gosh, at that time, I think Millie was 9 months and Molly was 6 months. And their names were Millie and Molly. I mean, come on, how cute is that? It could not get better. So we connected then. Our families became so close. Our like husbands are like besties. We're besties that we just like hit the ground. It was just like instant connection. And then how we connected to become partners was, you know what, I think it was summer of like 2021. We were talking about, I was telling Amy and her husband Eric about my like service registry idea that I had had years before. And they were just so encouraging. They're like, you should do something with it. And then we like even sat up that night, like hours, sorry.
But I love it. You became a part of each other's village. I love it.
Totally. We are like, I feel like Molly and now Emma are like my second daughters or second and third daughters. But we like talked about this service registry, and then Eric, Amy's husband, had taken some like executive MBA classes, and he was just really like connected to the business world and like entrepreneurship. And he was like, you should take an online course, like you should pursue this. And they were just so like encouraging. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I will. And I did. I took an online course. Ruben wasn't even 1 yet. So I had a 3-year-old and a not even like 1-year-old, but I was like, I'm going to do it. And then as a result of that, I kind of like narrowed in my focus on what I wanted to do. The babycito name came up, like I made a business plan. And then after that course, I like kept developing things. And Amy was just always so supportive and so great. She would be like, what's going on? She would always ask questions. And then she'd be like, so I have this idea about like getting traffic to the website, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, oh, tell me more. This is so fantastic. So I ultimately decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask Amy to be my babycito business partner. And this was like, we had a mom's night away planned for like a while before that point. So we go to our mom's night away, and I felt like I was proposing to her like the whole night. I was like, oh my God, when do I do it? Should I ask her now? Should I ask her now? Do I do it later? I don't know. And then luckily at dinner, she like brought something up about babycito. And I think it was like that getting people to the website thing. And I was like, well, I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to ask you something. So I asked her and she said yes. And then we were so excited and like called Eric, I think. And I was like, I just proposed to Amy and she said yes. And now she's going to be my babycito business partner. So I was just so excited. I was like, if this is going to impact our friendship, like we don't have to do it. That is the most important thing to me. But it was really great. And I'm just so helpful to have her support. And I think we just like the way we think, it like complements each other so well. And it's just been amazing because I'm really someone who needs to like talk out problems and issues and like get lots of perspectives and feedback. So when you're like by yourself, it's really hard to like be more confident, I think, in your decisions, at least for my personality. So that's how we connected and how we're like now together building babycito. And then I think as far as our vision, we're hoping first to like become successful and established with the platform in Northern Virginia. And then ideally, hopefully we can expand to DC and Maryland, include more providers serving those areas. And then a big dream vision, which is not specific to our area, is just that every family who's planning to grow their family, who is expecting, will create a registry for things and a registry for services. So I want that to like be the norm. So right now the norm is, yeah, you're expecting, create your registry and put all the stuff on it. But I want it to be create your registry for the stuff and create registry for services.
Awesome. I love it because, okay, not only is it that we're supporting a mama owned and ran business, which of course we love doing, but you guys see how the need for this is what made it blossom into a real thing, which is just so inspiring because both you, Lindsay, and Amy know what it's like to be in the situation of the parent sitting on the other side of your website, looking lost, and you can speak to that directly. So we have all four of us on the call today have been where you guys are at. If you're out there, mamas, parents, and you're lost, babycito is such a good starting point because that'll at least help you check off the providers you need and then more. You can start planning your baby shower and you'll start getting ideas about the first birthday party before you know it, or the half birthday, whatever it may be. You can go all out. So I love that. Thank you guys for sharing your story. That's amazing. Okay, so next I wanted to ask you guys, what services specifically are offered? You touched on this a little, but just you can expand a little more. Of course, give us maybe some ideas of what providers, and then registries, event services, just the whole shebang of what's the big spectrum that is on the babycito website, which is babycito.co, by the way.
Yes. By the way, best decision ever, saying yes to Lindsay. And I could tell she was nervous. It was really sweet. So what services we offer? So we offer the curated directory of screened providers where you can find doulas, lactation consultants, sleep consultants, yoga, and fun and activities. We haven't talked about that, but that's another thing you can find on there, fun and activities. We have the registry, which is the second thing. And people can use that for their baby shower, which we've talked about, but we didn't talk about, some parents are using that actually for birthdays. Also, they're creating birthday registries for their older children and registering for fun activities like a day at the local play gym or ice skating or tickets to a show, like things like that. Because people kind of in the same thread just want less things, right? Less toys, more experiences. So that's another way people use our registry. And the third thing we offer is education. We offer the service guide, which is, I think we talked about that earlier, where we, what you might need when you might need it. So before the baby comes, while you're pregnant, after the baby comes, and beyond. And that's downloadable on our website. And we also offer free service consultations. And if you need help setting up a registry or need help finding a service, call us, talk to us. We're happy to sit down with you and walk through what you need, what you think you might need. It's totally free. And we're just happy to help.
I love it. Yeah. And like Lindsay was saying, when she needed Amy as her sounding board, right? You guys use babycito, use Lindsay and Amy as your sounding board. As a mom, you may be talking to your partner and they're kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, your nipples hurt from nursing. I can't really connect on this topic. Or, birth doula, you're nervous about the birth. You're nervous about going through the process and all that. They may be empathetic to you, but to find somebody who's shared that experience that they can actually, give advice, be a listening ear, use Amy and Lindsay, use babycito as a consultation because they will get you started. And another big thing, it's just so cool to me that for moms, it's totally free. For parents, all parents, it's totally free to sign up with babycito. You do not have to pay a fee to get on there. You guys just log in and you start looking for the services. The consultation is even free. So it is free, very much so. And of course, you'll be connected to and pay with the provider, but actually getting onto the website is free. So I want to make sure everybody knows that. It's really important.
Not only are you an inspiration on the business side of it, but from what I just heard, you are an inspiration to other women out there who have ideas and who think, I can never make it happen, or I have this idea, but I don't have anyone to tell. I think that you just showed everyone the importance of taking your thoughts, having that soundboard, and you never know who can help you make it happen. And so I want to thank you for that. And I know that our listeners will find that extremely inspirational.
Thank you, Angela. Yeah, and just if you're out there and you have an idea, I mean, Amy and I both have little kids, and I've questioned myself a bazillion times of like, why am I doing this right now? This is really hard with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, but there's never going to be a good time. So it's just like, you got to forge ahead. And if you believe in your idea, stick with it. And yeah, tell your friends and trust in them. And they're going to support you.
Yeah. And here's to supporting other moms, normalizing real moms that are working or starting a business, like kids on a call, kids popping in a Zoom, having to feed on the job, bringing your kids to work. Like, there are companies out there that do accommodate all that. Of course, it's not understandable in every situation, but with Villa events, even we have some fun things coming up too. And we're like, even for, a networking event, it's like, bring your kids if you have to. Who are we to say no? Because childcare falls through, maybe your partner can't watch baby. Maybe, you can't make it for whatever reason. It's like flexible. This is how it is when you're a mom. So we get it, and making it so that moms can still be out there pursuing their dream is so important. Motherhood should not be something that holds you back. So that is definitely a big a takeaway. So thank you guys all for pointing that out today. But back to you, Angela.
Yeah. So I think our listeners would love to know, how can they sign up for babycito to find these incredible providers that you offer?
I can talk about that one. So luckily you just have to go to our website, babycito, babycito.co. We might get .com soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, .co, and it's free. So you can browse the directory for free. You can set up a registry for free. And Kristen, you kind of brought this up before, but for anyone listening who's not in Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, you can also use the registry. You don't have to create it with just babycito providers. We have an option that you can create your own service. So you could be in California and still be using the babycito service registry. You just create all your own services. And then friends and family, you'll connect your bank account through Stripe, and then friends and family will contribute just like they would if it was someone here. So it's no different. So that's great. And that is all free as well for parents. So you don't have to sign up just to go on and look through the directory. If you want to create a registry, of course, then you will have to sign up. It's free, but you have to create username, password, kind of the standard steps, put in some of your information, and then you'll have your login. So you can go in and add to your registry, edit things. You can put pictures up that you choose. So it's really nice. But yes, it's all free for families to use.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you for reiterating that, because I think, of course, that's the reality of what people want to know right now. All right. So next question. How do you find your providers? You talk about screening them. Tell us about how you screen them. And I know one of the mottos behind babycito that you work with all constellations of families, which is so beautiful, because families are not a cookie cutter thing. What my family looks like and yours looks like, and everybody else out there, there's no right or wrong family, right? So I know babycito is here for all families, and tell us how you guys go about that.
Yeah, so our providers, we started with providers we had used. And so that we knew we trusted, we knew were good. We reached out to them. And when we started, at our launch event, we had 16 providers. And I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but we're at almost 70 providers now. So we're growing. And we continue to grow. So that's good. But we find providers from references from other parents of like, oh, I've used this person. They're really great. You should talk to them about being listed. references from other providers, like physical therapist might be, oh, I know this occupational therapist and they're interested. So we get references from other providers as well. And then also, I know we're all active on a lot of like Facebook groups. So I'm always looking on there. You know, if someone's like, I need a pediatrician, and I'm looking to see what other parents in the area, like who they're suggesting, and then kind of flagging those things so I can come back and reach out to those providers. And so we vet them with our screening process, which is we set up either an in-person meeting or a virtual meeting where we go through a set of questions with them. And our topics for our questions are training and education. We learn more about that, more about their experience, their personal purpose, or their like why for what they're doing. You know, we want them to have like a passion for what they're doing, especially if it's things involving our kids or families. Then we talk about client interactions and especially how they work with potentially difficult clients in caring and professional ways. And the last part is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we ask about their business's approach to that, especially because, as you were saying, Kristen, we as a babycito community are inclusive, and we're saying we support all constellations of families. So when we're having those screening calls, we just need to make sure that those business values align, because we want anyone who's coming to babycito to be able to use any of our providers comfortably and know that they're going to be welcomed and well received by that provider. And the last part is we ask for a reference, at least one local family reference from the last 3 to 6 months that they've worked with. And we like communicate directly with that family. So we reach out to them either via email or phone and just ask some questions about their experience with the provider. And that's kind of like the last thing that we check. And once we've connected with the reference, then we're kind of like, okay, you're set. And we set up their page on the site. And the only difference would be for some of our medical providers, we speak with professional references because of HIPAA. They can't share patient information. So we can't always connect with a family, but we'll at least connect with a professional reference then.
Amazing. And like you were saying, you use social media to your, benefit, whereas you can see what people are saying directly about, and that says so much. So that's amazing. And that takes such a big part out of the parents' worry that like, are these people going to be okay? Are they going to work out? Are we going to have to keep trial and error with a doula or with a sleep consultant, or find out that it doesn't work out when we're in the midst of something, right? And it's just the most sensitive, vulnerable time in your life. You want to know that you're with a supportive group of providers, whether that starts with your doctor, your OBGYN, midwife, on up to the kids and everybody who deals with baby themselves too. So I just think it's beautiful that you guys do that and do such a thorough screening process. That is so good to know.
Yeah, we kind of started that with thinking about, okay, what things would we want to know have been checked? If I was going somewhere to another site and they're like, we checked it. And I'm like, okay, well, what things do I want to know are kind of in line or look good for this provider? And then also we do the references because we kind of feel like as a mom or a parent, if you're like, oh, I'm looking for a lactation consultant, and if Amy tells me, oh, I used this person and they were great, then I'm like, oh, awesome, I'm going to reach out to that person. So if you have that reference, it's like kind of is enough for you to take that first step to connect with that provider. And then of course, from there, see if they're right for you. But that helps you take that first step.
Right.
And I remember when I was a new mom, even if I had known what support I needed, I did not have a Villa, but I would have been so nervous to reach out to anyone because I had trust issues. So knowing that you have already done that for me, you've already checked them out, that would have relieved so much stress and anxiety from me. And I think that is probably one of the key things for new parents, is that you have essentially done all of the work for them and you've laid it out so nicely for them. So thank you. Okay, so we have providers who listen to our show. How can they go about signing up with babycito?
So providers, it's very easy. Again, you can also go to our website, babycito.co. And at the top, you can click on providers and it'll say how to join as a provider. And that kind of walks you through the steps. So the first step is basically, if you know you're interested, it's that screening. So you can, on our site, there's a link and you'll be able to, it'll take you to my Calendly where you can set up that virtual appointment with me so we can go through our screening questions. And then of course, if you have questions for babycito, for us, that's a great time to ask those questions as well. We want to get to know you a little bit, make sure we have all those things checked off. We have all your information. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. We'll provide you more information about now our babycito provider annual subscriptions. And then if everything looks good on our end and you're ready to join, we'll set up your page and you'll be ready to go. But of course, if you don't want to go to the site, you can email us, you can reach out on Instagram, reach out on Facebook, and we're happy to direct you to that next step.
Awesome. And we're lucky because we're here today with two amazing providers that babycito offers. As Amy said before, she runs Home Vinyasa, a yoga business, and Angela, our co-host, is a babycito provider because she's a doula, she's a postpartum doula and a sleep consultant. So you guys are here with two of the top providers of babycito. So you guys tell me, what's your experience being a provider with babycito? Amy, would you like to start?
Sure. Yes. So I do a couple of different things. So Home Vinyasa is, I think I mentioned this earlier, but it's virtual. It's primarily a virtual yoga business where I focus on perinatal yoga. So prenatal, postnatal, baby and me. And I also offer postpartum planning sessions. And I've just started to teach on site at different places, mostly baby and me. I'll start teaching occasionally at the Toy Nest in Falls Church, and then at a physical therapy office also in Falls Church, actually. And so I have all my services listed on babycito so people can see what I offer and also add those things to their service registry if they'd like. And so I think it's great because it gives my really small business a little bit more exposure and people can know about me. It's great for the marketing and the promotion on Instagram. Babycito does spotlights on small businesses and pushes out any announcements that I may have about my business on Instagram to all their followers and through email marketing. And also, one of the biggest things is it's nice to be a part of a community of other providers. I've met a lot of other people who teach perinatal yoga, and it's nice to have other people to refer to or sub a class or things like that. And so the network of getting to know everyone in this community and also have other people to kind of work with in a way and help promote each other has been really wonderful. So, and I'm, obviously I work for both babycito and Home Vinyasa. So I think it's all wonderful. But I truly do think that it's a great platform for providers to showcase their business and to, let us do some of this work for you. Let us promote your business. Let us market you. Let us help you build your business. So that is what we're doing. So.
I love it. And you guys know Villa is all about not just connecting moms and supporting moms, but heavily believing in supporting women in business. And like Amy said, you get to meet so many other providers when you connect and plug into some of these things like babycito, for example, or networking with Villa. It's like you plug in and you support each other. It's not a competition. Even if you're both doulas or you're both yoga instructors, learn from each other, support each other. Like, it is so much better when you can connect and you can go so much farther because the opportunities are endless. I mean, I feel like I've known Lindsay and the babycito team for forever now, but it's been such a short time and we've done like several things together. We have lots of fun things in the works, and I'm really excited because even Amy is going to be at one of our upcoming events with Home Vinyasa. So you guys will get to actually meet her and kind of see the Home Vinyasa experience a little bit more. So it's just awesome when you network and connect and plug yourself in with other providers, especially if you're a working from home business. It can become very isolating. And back to that whole sounding board mindset, you try to throw the baby some ideas or your 4-year-old some ideas and get some feedback. I know I do, but you're like, not sure if that was the advice that I was looking for. So talking with other adults, mind blowing, and actually meeting up with them for lunch and like feeling supported in your ideas and surrounding yourself with other professionals who have this same vision in mind of supporting families, supporting the motherhood journey. Like Amy said, it is messy, but it is just so beautiful. And when you can get into a community, a village, and actually feel supported, you really deserve that, because you deserve to make your dreams come true. And not to be all cheesy, but with a provider, as a provider, babycito can really help you make that happen. So let them help you. So plug in. And our next provider here, I'm going to let Angela share. So tell us, Angela, what has the experience been like for you being a babycito provider?
Well, Kristen, you already know this, but Amy and Lindsay, I just met you not too long ago as well. And it's been such a wonderful experience because when I started my business was when I got onto social media. And to be quite honest with everybody, it is daunting. And I do not like spending time doing things on social media when I could be with clients. And so you wonderful ladies have helped me out so much by promoting your little posts and tagging me, or even the spotlights like Amy was saying. And so that has gotten me out a little bit further than I think I would have on my own. And so I am forever grateful for that. And I want to say, no joke, I think I was maybe listed on your site for not that long, and I already was getting inquiries from people who found me on babycito, and it was all because they found one of your business cards at a coffee shop. So it's just like the path of it is amazing. And I really I didn't have to go to that coffee shop. I didn't, have to have a business card. You all did. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And it's just so funny. I talked to a provider earlier today who's hopefully going to join. And I was like, how did you hear about us? And she actually was at Clemmy Jontry last summer. The day we had our launch event was her daughter's birthday party. So she's like, we kept walking by the babycito tent all day. But now that was July, and now we just connected March. But it's just such a small world. And it's so interesting to hear how people are finding us. And yeah, it's great to hear that we're able, I didn't think of it in that way, Angela, but that's true. You don't have to put a business card at all these coffee shops. We can do that and you're set. So I'm so glad that worked.
It absolutely does. And so you've already mentioned a couple of the places that you've been and a couple of the events that you've done. And so we would love to hear about any of your upcoming events.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be co-hosting Networking at Noon with Villa. We're so excited about that. Woo! The first one is Tuesday, March 21st. And that will be in Shirlington at Busboys and Poets. So it's a great opportunity for moms or any other industry professionals to come network. Kind of how Angela and Amy were speaking to networking and building your network and connecting with other people who are in this sphere, and all about serving and supporting families. And then we'll be part of the Blessings Way Wellness event coming up, also hosted by Villa at the end of April 29th. So we're excited for that. And our biggest event that's coming up, which is way in the future, is September 16th. We're having our first annual parenting expo, and we're co-hosting it with Postpartum Support Virginia, which is huge. And Amy has to go pick up her daughter.
Carpool, you know how it is. So this was wonderful. Thank you so much for the experience, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. I really appreciate it. And Villa is just super excited. We can't wait to have you at the wellness event that Lindsay just mentioned. So Amy will be back on hanging out with Villa, you guys. Have a beautiful day, Amy. And we'll take it back to Lindsay for more events.
Yeah, so the Parenting Expo, September 16th. It's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Vienna, Virginia, at the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department. So basically, we're inviting all our providers to come table and meet with families. So we're inviting all local families, or anyone, if you want to come from farther away, great, you're welcome, to come and just get to know all the amazing providers that we have in our area. So that's really exciting. We're going to hopefully have some fun events like a Zoom beanie class. We're going to see if they can bring out a fire truck for the kids. So if you want to bring your kids along, that would be great. But that's one of our biggest events coming up this year. And then a few other places we're going to be participating or tabling or sponsoring we have the Falls Church Egg Hunt, which is April 8th. Then May 6th, we're co-hosting Community Appreciation Day with the Toy Nest, and that's in Falls Church. We've invited the Great Zucchini to come, the magician, very popular. So it's going to be a free magic show at 10:30 on like the lawn right in front of the farmer's market. So you can go through the farmer's market, pick up what you need, and then also check out the Great Zucchini. And then on May 20th, we'll be at McLean Day in McLean, Virginia. And finally, sometime in October, they haven't set a date yet, but we're going to be part of Vienna Oktoberfest. So lots of good things coming up, and kind of speaking to what Angela was saying is that, we're promoting all our providers at all these events by going and saying, hey, check us out. Oh, and it's just great to talk to families. That's really what we're trying to do, meet and get to know as many local families as possible, so we can get to know their needs, tell them about providers that are available, ready to help. And then also, if they have different needs that we haven't addressed yet, figure out how we can help those families as well.
Awesome. So you guys hear it. It's like there's a world of opportunity out there for you guys to plug into and meet other moms, other families. Bring your kids to these events, socialize them as well, especially with spring here coming up, though it's still kind of tricky with the weather, right? It literally snowed here yesterday, you guys. But come on out to these events, socialize, get connected. You will be able to bump into some awesome providers, other moms who will become friends. I know that the ladies at babycito have become friends of mine now. Like they mentioned, we are co-hosting now a monthly networking event called Networking at Noon, which we just launched. And the first one is going to be, like Lindsay said, March 21st. So this coming Tuesday in Shirlington at Busboys and Poets. And any motherhood industry professionals, providers are welcome to come if you're already plugged into the Villa community, or if you're a provider of babycito, but you don't even have to be yet. If you're just interested in getting to know us and meet us, please shoot us a message. You can follow Villa on Instagram at @ittakesa_Villa, or find us on Facebook. Our Facebook business page is Villa Advocacy Group. And then we have different branches of the Villa pages based on what location you're in. But it'll be, for example, for the DMV area, Villa, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And then Lindsay will drop the links to all the social media handles for Instagram and Facebook all into the YouTube links below. So you guys can just click on that, as well as the website, but they're all babycito. So if you follow us on Instagram, then we can easily connect you to babycito as well. Everything is just babycito, BABYCITO. So be sure to follow, because you'll see all these fun events like opportunities, spring events, summer events coming up. We have tons of fun things planned. The networking event, we have the wellness event that we talked about that Home Vinyasa is going to be at, babycito is going to also be at, and some other amazing providers and cool speakers. So that's going to be in Alexandria on April 29th. Most of our events, of course, are local to the DMV area, but we do branch out across Virginia, and we are growing as well. So stay tuned, because both babycito and Villa will be growing and expanding. And, if you guys get interested, plug in, because the more parents that we have in communities across the nation, the more we can provide and connect and support you guys. So don't be afraid to plug in if you're not quite local. And then, like they said, the Parenting Expo, we are so excited to be at the Parenting Expo as well. So that'll be in Vienna, the fire department, in September 16th. And Villa is going to be collecting baby donations and passing out baby donations of different items, diapers, formula, and various things, depending on what you need. You can either bring what you can to pass on or take what you need from us there at the event. So thank you guys for having Villa be a part of your awesome events and your big expo coming up. And last, Lindsay, I wanted to make sure you tell about your big giveaway going on right now. Tell us.
Oh, yes. How can we almost forget that? So our babycito baby shower giveaway is live right now. You can enter through April 7th, so you have plenty of time. All you have to do to enter is go to our website and create a service registry. And just by entering, you're going to get access to offers and deals from 18 of our trusted providers. And then we're going to select one winner. That person will get gifts from babycito for their baby shower, like desserts, favors, florals, and greenery. And then they're going to get additional gifts and discounts from 18 plus providers. So it's really amazing. And you get 18 deals just for entering. So just create the registry and you're in. And then if you win, even better.
That's amazing. And they just launched this giveaway yesterday. So it's perfect, because you guys can go ahead and enter, and you'll instantly be a winner of some of the prizes, like she said. For all of you expecting mamas out there, it's such good gifts. So you'll even get a discount from Angela at Walker Doula Services, as well as if you're the big winner too. So check that out. And then the last thing that we want you guys to make sure that you guys look into is the checklist link that we were talking about before. When you are looking into building your own village, there is literally a checklist that babycito has put together, and Villa, we've partnered to make sure that you guys have at your fingertips a starting point of what your family may need. So I know Lindsay has to hop off as well and go do, pick up and whatnot, but we will share, Angela and I will go through that list real quickly with you guys, but really just go online, go to the babycito website. You can print it out, and we're going to share that list to social media as well. Now that our podcast as we launch it. So thank you guys so much. Lindsay, thank you so much for letting us talk to you guys today and hear a little bit more about your company. We absolutely love what you do and how you actually bring that village to the fingertips of parents out there.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. Like you said, I feel so close and connected to both of you, and it really hasn't been that long. So it's just amazing what this motherhood family community can do to bring people together. We're honored to be on the podcast and to be episode number 2. That's awesome. We're so excited. And yeah, with the checklist, I'll figure out a way to share a PDF version if you want to print it. And then also a way that you can open it and make a copy in Google Docs if you're someone who prefers stuff virtually. But yeah, thank you. I'm out the door to go pick up my daughter from her preschool. So I will see you.
Excellent.
Thank
Busy
you, Lindsay.
mama.
We'll see you Tuesday at noon.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Yes, we'll see you at networking at noon. Amazing. All right. Thank you, Lindsay. You guys have an awesome day. Okay. All right, you all. So thank you all for listening to babycito. Angela and I really quickly just wanted to go over this little checklist as we wrap it up, leave you guys with a big takeaway from today's podcast episode. And the visual will be on our social media and the checklist will be accessible. Babycito will link that for you guys down in the comments below. Okay. So please make sure that you're subscribing, make sure you're following, liking, and sharing our podcast with all of your friends, because this is free information, you guys. The checklist is free. Looking on the Babycito website is free. Even if you want to call them for a consultation, it is free. There's literally no gimmick there. Okay. So use these resources we're giving you, because we are moms of, most of us, we have 1, 2, now I'm going on to baby number 3. We're like, this is what I wish I had when I was becoming a mom. So let us help you. Angela, do you want to start going over the checklist that we have that we just put together for building your own villa?
Yes, it's a beautiful document. I have to say, it's just beautiful. The things you can do in Canva and the things you can do on the computer, amazing. So when I was first becoming a mom, I thought I had it all together. I had the onesies, I had the blankets, I had the crib, I had all the stuff. I was like, I don't need to read a book. I'm good. I just will go with it. Nobody mentioned any of the things on this list to me, Kristen, and I feel that very much impacted my postpartum journey. And so if there's one piece of advice that I can give, it's to use this checklist to build your villa. And that's not to say your postpartum journey won't have its bumps and ups and downs, but it's going to be a lot more manageable because you will have people there in place by your side to walk with you through it. And so we have on our checklist, we have a birthing partner, having someone there with you who can advocate for you for what you want to happen, what you don't want to happen. That is key. Reliable family and friends. However, if that's not possible because you don't live near them, then that's where doulas can come into play. We have birth doulas, postpartum doulas, community doulas. Also on the list would be an OBGYN or a midwife. And one thing I did not do, Kristen, that I probably should have done was a birth education courses. Nobody stressed the importance of that to me. So I really wish I would have done that as well.
Yes. And so many of these things, we get the question, like, what is a doula? What is a childbirth educator? Like, what are these things? And don't only people who live a lifestyle that can afford all these fancy things. No, every mom should be able to have these tools. Like Angela said, Villa is really into advocating and finding a village that advocates for you. We work to advocate for every mom, every child, every family. So finding a village that is going to advocate for the needs that you prefer, the preferences, the birth preferences. When you speak with a doula, a lot of times they help you create a birthing plan, not just whatever the doctor says to do. You have choices. And that's why this list is going to look different for everybody. So what my birthing partner may look like, my husband being there with me, you may choose to have your mom there with you or another friend who's going to go to the childbirth prep classes, the Lamaze breathing techniques, be your sounding board, or hold your hand through the birth. So there's no right or wrong answer. It is whatever makes mom feel the most comfortable to have that baby, the most empowered and the most advocated for. So mama, it's up to you. When you are creating your birth plan and when you're creating your build your own villa checklist, make sure you're putting what you want and you're sharing it. We put first the birthing partner. You're sharing those beliefs, those choices, those preferences with your birthing partner so they can advocate. Because in the midst of pregnancy and its tough moments, or birth itself, or right thereafter, if you're unable to speak up for yourself for whatever reason, that person needs to step in and be the advocate for you, be your voice. So choose wisely your birthing partner. Like Angela said, we very much reiterate on this checklist a reliable family and friends, because not everybody is going to be somebody who ends up in your village when you become a mom. You may have thought somebody would be there, but they're not, for one reason or the other. Maybe they moved away. Maybe they're not a mom yet and just aren't in the same phase of life as you, and that's okay. Work really hard to assess, use those 9-10 months of pregnancy to assess, who is my reliable community? And if you don't have but one friend or one family member there, if that, there are so many other options that you can look into. Villa, first of all, you got to reach out to us, because we will be there. We will be your village. Ask the moms in our community. We will step in, even if we have not met you in person. We will step in and support you, because that's what we've got to do for moms.
I just want to throw in what you just said. A little nugget of advice, and that would be to start planning as early as possible. Don't be like me, if you can help it, and be in the thick of postpartum struggles trying to find all of your supports and your villa. Although I guess babycito is kind of making that easier for us now, but there was no babycito when I needed it. So that's just to say, prepare beforehand, because you never know what's going to happen after baby gets here.
Yes, we always say with Villa, like, set up your tools, find your tools, use your tools before you're in that place of great need. You want to have the equipment, because if you're in that rough place, and we've been there, trust us. So if you're in that place, you don't know even where to start. So I agree. I'm like, I wish I knew about babycito when I was a first-time mom, but I am so lucky to have them this time around for my third baby boy coming. And I've been browsing the providers list, and I've already met a lot of the providers. By the way, a lot of them are actually Villa moms as well. So it's super cool to see the community connected and supporting each other here. Through the motherhood community, local moms in the DMV area, and the providers, and how they all will just step in and be so supportive. So it really is a community that we've all kind of conjoined together.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but as I've been connecting with other providers and birth workers, many of them are starting to accept insurance. So you have to look carefully, because not all of them do. But that is also a way to help cover the cost of everything too.
Yes, I love that you added that in, Angela. You guys, we always say, check into your benefits of your insurance or other things that are out there that are free resources for moms, because we all have a different situation that we're coming from. But even moms who don't have the resources to buy all these quote unquote luxuries, even though for us, it's not a luxury. These are necessities. You need sleep, you need nutrition, you need support, and you deserve all of those things. So these are not something that you should have to be, have all the money to be able to afford. Check into resources. There is even something, we have a few of them on our Villa team, community doulas who work with low-income families to help connect them to resources, as well as offer doula services and education services on a sliding scale basis. So they will definitely work with you. Reach out to us if you don't know where to start. Reach out to us, reach out to babycito, reach out to them for a free consultation to see what services they offer and who maybe does take your insurance. That is, of course, up to every provider, but it doesn't hurt to ask, you guys. There's nothing better than finding out like, oh my gosh, I get this benefit I didn't even know about. So please check into that. Our next thing on our list would be your health ritual. So we kind of leave it broad because this is going to look different for everybody. Maybe it's your yoga instructor, like home vinyasa. Maybe it's a nutritionist. Maybe it is somebody who is getting you prepared, like gym, your lifestyle. You're trying to get back into shape. You're trying to feel better mentally. And part of that routine is you actually being active and and working out or whatever works for you. So all types of health rituals, it's going to be different for every mama, but it can be something so low key. It can be part of your food and nutrition. It can be any other types of activity and fitness. You guys know right now, Villa is pushing our health and wellness initiative. So you guys got to be the best, the healthiest mama you can be for the benefit of your babies, so you can be a happier mama, so you can have a happier family. And having these tools will really set you up for that. So focus on your health ritual, because that right there is the key to feeling better, of course. And therefore you can be a better mom. With that comes the mental health support aspect of it. So for some, that may look like a therapist, a counselor, a psychotherapist, a support group. You guys know we have our Zoom support groups Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our Zoom healing circles where we have amazing leaders helping to come on there and support moms. So that support group, the Sunday nights, is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those right there are 2 free mental health support resources. We have amazing providers that come and talk on our healing circle, psychotherapists, therapists, counselors, different ones who can support you with the mental health journey, and you can be connected to them. There are so many also, and some of the same ones even on the babycito website. So look into that as well. If you are somebody who is already on medication for mood and you are more prone to maybe depression and anxiety, then set yourself up with the tools, like you don't have to think, oh, I'm going to get postpartum depression. Like it doesn't have to be like that, but it's okay to be prepared. It's good to be prepared. And then the more prepared you are, the better you'll feel. So it won't maybe hit as hard. And if it does, you know what? That's okay, because it's happened to a lot of us, been there, and you will have the tools and the resources to, support you when you're in that place. Lactation consultant is a big one. There's IBCLCs out there. If you just go to there's a lot of courses that support groups you can do that are like breastfeeding support groups. Even Villa, we have a breastfeeding support chat for nursing and pumping mamas. And that's through our Facebook group as well, where moms, you don't even have to have a lactation consultant necessarily right there with you, but listening to other moms who are going through the same journeys and like some of the issues that are happening or been there, done that, it helps so much to hear that. So having support with whatever you decide for your lactation journey. There are also different specialists, which we will have on the show eventually, but that are trained as feeding specialists. And that includes formula as well, because formula mamas, they have questions, they need help, they need guidance. So not to leave anybody out, there is support out there for all choices that mamas have made on how to raise their babies. Let's see. And then next one seems so basic: household help and meal prep. And if you're not able to hire housekeeping and meal delivery service or in-home chef, that's okay. Like your average family, but maybe you set up for dad to take over some of those chores if he hasn't already, which hopefully he has. But maybe you're going to have, mother-in-law come in and help, or auntie come, or a friend. But there's also a really cool, fun fact. Service providers such as postpartum doulas could come in and do some of that work for you. So Angela, do you want to take over the list and tell about that and tell about the rest of what we have on here?
Of course. I just want to throw this out there. Postpartum doulas can do all of that. We can cook. Again, it depends on the doula. However, I love to cook. But if you don't want to do that, you can always prepare meals ahead of time. Just make them freezer friendly and put them in, the container. I even put mine in glass containers. Well, I'm not postpartum, but I do that now. I put them in the glass container so I can just throw them in the oven, and then they thaw out and they're ready to go. So it takes that step out of having to take the time and energy to prepare those meals. Next on the list would be postpartum doulas and sleep consultants. And although sleep consultants may not work with you right away, they can help you lay the foundation so that when the time comes that they're able to work with you, then they'll gladly swoop in and and help then. The pediatrician, that was probably one of the hardest ones for me personally. It took me a lot of time, and I don't want to say I interviewed, but I went and met the doctor first so that I knew I could be comfortable visiting them with my newborn. A supportive community and social outlet like Villa. Yes, that again, don't wait until you're in the thick of it, because either you won't do it or you won't be as successful as you would be if you had planned ahead of time. And just make a list of them and how to connect with them. And that way, if you start to feel that urge, then you can reach out. And specialists as needed, so therapists or even anything that we haven't already mentioned that you may need. And then, Kristen, I don't want to say this last one is my favorite, but this is the one that I feel my clients struggle with the most, and that is childcare. Because when you're pregnant, you think, oh, I have X amount of months until I'm going to need childcare, but there are wait lists that are possibly years long for certain places. So if you wait until a month before you're set to go back to work, you may not find anything. And the thing that I'm finding now is that nannies are not easy to find either. And so even before baby comes, I would start the process. I would start interviewing. I would start putting my name on wait lists even. And then that way you don't have to worry about that. And of course things change. And if things change, you change your plans, you take your name off lists and whatnot, but it's just prepare, be proactive instead of reactive.
Yes, I love when you say that, Angela. I always use it. Be proactive instead of reactive. That is how we have to mother. And even, Lindsay was telling me about even babycito has a provider, Bambino, who it has childcare services, babysitters, nannies there, and a list of, childcare providers that are pre-screened and approved and actually listed based on experience through your network, through your friends and family, your circle. So check it out, because that's one of the babycito providers. You can find them on their website. So all of this is something that all moms need. And again, this list is going to look a little bit different for every family, because what one person may need a little more of, another person may find that they don't need as much of, or what one person is willing to spend a lot of money on, other people are like, you know what? No, we can do, our own meal prep, like Angela was saying. I love that idea. A lot of moms, preparing the freezer meals and whatnot so that you're ready. But there are so many other things that we could add to the list, case by case basis. The specialists, there's pelvic floor therapists, there's all types of tongue and lip tie, a pediatric dentist. I mean, there are, of course, the list could be endless when it comes to childcare, but have that foundation ready and then take each step day by day. As something is going on with baby, you have your pediatrician, you have your doula, you have babycito, you have Villa, you have your circle that you've already set up there to help guide you. There's nothing better than connecting to a provider that someone has recommended. So when there's something that you need and it's not necessarily on this list that you didn't prepare, you couldn't have guessed about, especially medically, ask your providers, ask your doulas, ask your mama friends, put a post out there on the Villa page. Like, has anyone found a good so-and-so? And moms will be more than happy to help you and guide you in the right direction. There's a special place in my heart for first-time moms, because once you go through that journey, it really is a transformation and you really become a new person. And part of that is wanting to support other moms too. And that's why Villa is all about that. So we are all here to support you. You've met 4 of us today, providers from babycito, Villa right here, telling you that we're here with open arms, waiting to help support you. You just have to connect with us. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, join our local chapter of Villa that is in your area. Right now we have the nationwide group, which is just Villa on Facebook group. We have the Villa DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia group. We have Villa Fredericksburg, Stafford. We have Villa RVA, Richmond, Virginia, Central Virginia. We have Villa Hampton Roads, Virginia, and we keep growing every day. So we have our legal advocacy group. We have our motherhood industry professionals group. And so our coming event is our networking at noon, and we will definitely hope to see some of you guys there, mama professionals and providers, and connect more with the babycito and Villa community to support each other. Because our mission, both companies, we want to get the word out of this amazing support system that you have, and you can build because you deserve it, mama. Right, Angela?
Yes. And Kristen, please do not forget to mention to our viewers that we do so many events. And okay, we do big events, but then we also do the play groups, which, we had one last week that I attended, and I have been on cloud nine since then because the people who showed up were amazing. It was so wonderful to see the kids connect and playing together while we could have our time to connect. And, you are constantly coming up with different events, and everything is an event to me. So different outings for people to do. So I am taking some pressure off of you, and I'm manifesting this, and it's just a little short story that I want to tell. So I received a gift last week, and I'm so appreciative of the gift. I love it. But every time I look at it, I think of you and Villa, and you'll see why. I'm going to show it. And
for those of you guys who are just listening, it's a butterfly on a mug, hence my earlier mention of transformation.
And so it got me thinking, yes, this is now my Villa mug. And I was like, I just want to write Villa on it. But I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by changing it because, it was a gift. And so I thought, what a great way for us to connect as moms by going to one of those places where you can not make the cup, but you get the cup and you paint it and you can design it. And we could all make little mugs that say Villa. I'm so excited.
I love it. And then we can be showing them while we're doing our podcast in our Zoom support groups on Thursdays and our healing circles on Sundays and be representing.
Yeah. And any other day that we're feeling down or feeling disconnected from people, we could just pull them out and look at them and be reminded of the wonderful, wonderful mission of this group and how we are truly just here to support moms.
I love it, Angela. Thank you for thinking of me. And yeah, I think there couldn't be much of a better representation of motherhood than the butterfly. It's like the transformation you go through. They say it takes a village. I'm going to get emotional, but they say it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to raise a mom too. And a mother is not something that is just instant when you conceive or when you're, birth the baby. It's a total transformation you go through, and it's so biological. It's a beautiful thing, but you deserve and you need the help of your community. And back to our, it's in our name, advocacy, Villa Advocacy Group. Find that community, that village that advocates for you. And find it because you can in a judgment-free, supportive, loving, welcoming with open arms group. Life is hard enough, and you don't need any provider or friend or part of your village who is going to make that journey negative. So check out the list we have on, babycito has on their site of pre-screened providers that support all families of all different constellations, like Angela herself and Amy that you heard from earlier. And definitely dive into Villa. If you don't have Facebook, follow us on, of course, YouTube. You'll hear from us often on our podcasts and get to meet a lot of our professionals that we work with. But follow us on Instagram and look out for our different events coming up. We plan events like all over the state of Virginia. So we'll keep growing as you guys demand more. We keep giving it to you. Like Angela said, I think the events are never ending. We can't wait. So please plug in. And if you're interested to get involved in a bigger way too, volunteering for us or being a professional that does support our mamas, then reach out to me. I'm Kristen Gazani on Facebook, and on Instagram, you can reach out to the It Takes a _Villa page and message us as well. But please visit our website for more information, a little bit more about us, villaadvocacy.org. And to get more info on babycito, babycito.co. And be sure to share our services with your friends, your mama friends, the families. We are here to support you with open arms. So please stay tuned for our next episode, episode 3. We have another amazing provider that is going to come talk. If you were at our last healing circle, that is our hint, to hear from an amazing professional who really supports mamas from day one. So you guys will get to hear from her, Dr. Uma from Little Pumpkin Sleep Solution, and she's going to be our episode 3. So get excited for that. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you do get alerts and notifications with the bell on YouTube whenever we upload a podcast. Make sure you like, comment, share with your friends, support us so we can get all this information out there to mamas who need it. And stay tuned because we have some big raffles coming up for sharing our pages. So stay tuned on the Villa Instagram and Facebook accounts. Okay. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Angela, for co-hosting with me as always. It's a pleasure.